From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm John Kennedy. After saying the tariff threats should be taken seriously, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau met with U.S. President-elect Donald Trump at his Mar-a-Lago estate. Trump threatened Canada with hefty 25% tariffs if illegal migration and drug trafficking didn't come to a halt from Canada's southern border into the U.S. The Prime Minister's meeting with Trump was aimed at discussing the tariffs and the Canada-U.S. relationship, while Trudeau had previously said his plan included reminding Trump his own political goals would be hampered by tariffs on Canada and Mexico. The RCMP says it wants to redeploy a significant portion of its workforce to eastern Canada, with some going to the U.S. border.
The redeployed staff would go to areas considered an operational priority, including the Canada-U.S. border. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has pledged 25% tariffs on Canadian imports until more is done to stem the flow of migrants and illegal drugs over the Canada-U.S. border. An RCMP spokesperson says this temporary redeployment is not out of the ordinary and says the situation at the border has remained stable. There's already been a significant drop in migration since last year's changes to the Safe Third Country Agreement, closing a loophole that allowed asylum claims outside regular ports of entry. Jason White, The Canadian Press.
Yukon municipal politicians will no longer be required to swear an oath of allegiance to King Charles while taking the office. Newly elected members of Dawson City's council refused to swear the oath, prompting the territory's community services minister to adjust the Yukon Municipal Act. Municipal leaders in the Yukon now have the option of taking the oath to the Constitution or to the monarch. Minister Richard Mostyn says the change should help Yukon First Nations feel welcome and respected. A coalition of Canadian news publishers is suing OpenAI for using their news content to train ChatGPT generative AI systems. The lawsuit says the company's tool breaches copyright by scraping large swaths of content from media websites. They say they have invested hundreds of millions of dollars into journalism, content which should be protected by copyright. Retailers used giveaways and big discounts to reward U.S. shoppers who ventured out for Black Friday. At the same time, frequent deals throughout the month and more ahead on Cyber Monday gave consumers less of a reason to squabble over store shelves. Chuck First is the commercial officer for Reverse Logics. He says many shoppers will remain cautious with their discretionary spending.
And more people are, kind of excited, anticipating what's going to be next for the e-commerce sale from their favorite brand or retailer. And so they're constantly checking their inbox for those deals.
Enough consumers still enjoyed the holiday shopping in person that Black Friday was expected to retain its crown as the biggest day of the year for retail foot traffic in the United States. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins scored 78 seconds into overtime, and the Edmonton Oilers took a 4-3 victory from their first visit to the Utah Hockey Club. Leon Draisaitl contributed a goal and 2 assists in regulation, while Connor McDavid supplied 1 of each. A 2-goal performance from Brett Howden helped the Golden Knights soar to a 4-3 win over the league-leading Jets. Cole Perfetti scored twice for Winnipeg, while Neil Poink added a goal and Eric Cormy made 26 saves. The Jets have now lost 3 of the last 4 outings. A triple-double from Scotty Barnes wasn't enough for the Raptors. Toronto dropped a 121-111 decision to the Miami Heat, despite getting 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists from Barnes. The Buffalo Bills have issued a call for prospective snow shovelers ahead of tomorrow's game against the 49ers. The lake-effect snowstorm is threatening to dump more than 50 centimeters of white stuff in the Buffalo area. From the Canadian Press, I'm John Kennedy.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.